What's going on? It's Typer Ayak, representing Jersey, 20 years in the game, writing on these walls, doing what I do, and I got a story to tell.
Hip-hop, you know what I mean, being a big culture that it is, and graffiti, rap being like one of the main elements within the culture, like just talk about the community and what was happening in your community that sort of like made you gravitate towards like doing graph and graffiti. What was taking place in your environment?
Well, in my environment, it was just a lot of drug dealing, violence, weapons, guns, you know, regular street shit. And I actually did 3 bids behind all that, and like graffiti like changed me away from the street. Like I painted to get away from that, and that's why I'm here standing right now in front of y'all, because of that. On that alone, because if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be locked up or doing something stupid, you know what I'm saying?
So as far as like with the graffiti, it sounds like it pretty much it impacted like your creative thinking. It took you sort of like, it gave you a different focus and made you focus on other things besides the street life. Oh yeah, sort of, in a way.
Yeah, graffiti is like, this is like, where I come to graffiti is to get away from anything. Like I don't care about who likes it or whatever they think about it. It's just for me. I never like plan to make money or to do anything with the art. It's just something I do to keep me away from other things.
So like what was the elevation of it, like the expansion? Like you started out like with markers, the black books, then you went to spray paint. Talk about the different elements, how you like.
Well, I started straight with a can. I was whack as hell, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I was trash with the graph, and a couple dudes pulled me to the side, and they like showed me a couple dudes. And I just took off from there, started doing that. Books was always in my life. I got 20 years of books in the house.
Cool.
And I just love, the painting is like I don't care about the books or none of that no more. Like coming out and painting and just relaxing, that's where I'm at right now with it.
Like, you know, like as far as like the media and like politicians and like government, they sort of like sometimes look at as graph as like, you know, vandalism. Like, you know what I mean, like a negative in the community, but in a lot of graph artists' minds and their outlooks, they look at it as like, you know what I mean, art, something that improves the community, the way the community look. Like, how do you feel about like that perspective?
I think a lot of the graffiti that goes on, in like these low income areas where it's ghetto. So I'm like, why not put graffiti on the walls? Because this, like, they gentrify stuff. They get this, the first thing they get a guy, he does a mural of a flower. Next thing you know, 3 houses is knocked down. They building a townhouse there. That's what I think. So graffiti is like, for us, the people that live here, the people that been here. So that's where I come from with it.
All right. So when we first pulled up on you, we noticed you was like, you was, you know what I mean, using the spray can, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, improving this right here. Like, so like, what are some of the type of paints you use? Like, any favorite type of paints? I know like Krylon is one of the famous ones.
Yeah, Krylon is a famous one. It's a lot of paints that come from overseas, but I use any paint. Whatever paint is available, I use it. It's all about technique and the caps you use or whatever to get the job done. It's all the paint is the same to me.
Okay. So earlier you said that you used to watch like other dudes in the community prior to you actually getting involved in it full-fledged. Like, what are some of the other artist names that like that you used to watch prior to you?
I really like, I have a friend, one of my best friends. He's the dude that got me into painting. His name is Veer, and that's kind of dude that influenced me to take it to the next level. So I was on my chicken scratch writing stuff, and then when I got with him, that's when I took it more further than where it was at.
Dope. Like the other day I was reading Dondi. You familiar with Dondi?
Yeah.
I was reading his book, you know what I mean? So like, he's from East New York, Brooklyn, but like he managed to like take graffiti, like the same thing like from the walls, the black books, but he was able like to elevate it, and he started going like overseas and doing these big museums and stuff and painting on canvases and all that. Like, how do you feel about that element, and like, do you have an interest in seeing your art get to like that level?
I mean, I don't think there's too many people that wouldn't want to see their art go that far. But as far as like Dondi and all that, he's the one who, like, one of the pioneers that took it to the next level. So he already paved the road. It's time for the next people to step up and keep on with that path. You have your ups and downs, and the same thing, like graffiti is like a whole different world. Like the same way like fashion and hip hop and rap, they got their different genres of rap. Like graffiti is just like that in art. So they have like, you have your own little groups and within graffiti. So
and also like with graph, it's like it's like a big history attached to it. Like as far as like movies like Beat Street, WILDSTYLE. Did any of those movies like impact you or influence you?
I mean,
like any like graph movies that you looked at and got inspired by? You know what I mean? Coming up as a youngster?
There was a whole bunch of movies out when I was coming up. A lot of like Jersey stuff, train stuff. That like influenced me to go out and write more. But as far as like the style and stuff like that, I never really paid attention to. It was just like a hype. Like you hear a beat, same way as like somebody hears a beat, the beat hypes them up. That's kind of what the movie did for me. It hyped me up to go do what I was doing normally. You know what I'm saying?
So like, what's your favorite approach? Like, do you enjoy the throw ups more, the layups, the burners? Like I know like as far as each type of style, it takes like time. You know what I mean? So like, which one do you enjoy most?
Honestly, I do them all.
Oh, do them all?
I do the freights, do the burners, the throws, the tags, the pieces. I hit it on every level. Okay,
dope. So right now, currently in 2020, what other like graph artists are like out here in Jersey representing hard body? Like you know, like, when you come through the city, like when we came through the city, we seen mad different pieces of. Like in the city, like do you know other graph artists that's popping right now in 2020 that's getting it cracking along with you?
Yeah, it's a lot of writers out there, but I'll definitely give it up to my man Emo. Emo's definitely years. It was a time when there was no graffiti getting put up, and Emo was up everywhere. So he like held it down for Jersey as a whole. Like it was just him. He was like the solo writer. Nobody else was doing it when he was doing it.
Definitely. Like in New York City, there's crazy graph writers, you know what I mean? So like as a kid coming up in Brownsville and Crown Heights, and just seeing like the 2, the 3 train like come through the community, I would see people like, and I don't know if you're familiar with these names, like Smith and Sane,
Yeah, Smith and Sane.
Cope,
Yeah.
CWK, Kraftwerk Kings, Sega, Omega Tech, even my man Beck Live, Has Uno, Wolf out of Germany. So like, you know what I mean, just being around Graf, you know what I mean, it was always like inspiring to see the ill art coming across, you know what I mean, like actually coming through the community, passing, you know what I mean, on the trains and all that, you know what I mean. So as a youngster seeing that, how did that like motivate you when you seen like stuff like that? Did you live in a place where you seen the trains come through? Like in Brooklyn and the Bronx, a lot of trains came through like on the overhead.
I kind of missed that era.
Okay.
But we had our own, like Jersey was like our own thing. It's New York has their own entity and Jersey has their own entity. And now, like to the present day, it's like everything's connected now. You got the New York and the Jersey dudes together more than I ever seen ever.
Yeah.
So it's definitely collaborating, definitely connected. And I think like a lot of that street art kind of wrong, like the hood writers all together, because now it's a common enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So talk about the layups in the train yards real quick. Did you ever experience that element? Like going to the train yard with all your bags, your crew?
I painted.
Like getting busy?
Yeah, I painted in train yards. We brought a whole bunch of stuff, and we've been painting for like years. We had a yard, and we can't go there no more. But yeah, for years it was a great experience. You know, just the same way we did it just to do it. It wasn't never nothing behind it. Now it's like people that come up to me and actually be like, yo, I seen this that you did in this year and that year. And it's kind of dope that they even remind me of some stuff that I forgot about. And they like, with the internet now, it's like I'm getting pictures that I have never seen in 15 years. Like pictures that I don't even have. Some kid that's writing has it. And he's saying, yo, you inspired me to do this. So it's kind of humbling that I was just doing it to do it, and it inspired somebody coming up in that time. So,
so like with the art of graffiti and graph, there's also like an element that people attach to it called like racking up.
Yeah.
Like the way you go about getting your spray paint and your markers. Like, did you have a special way about? Do you went about accumulating it, or like you used to like purchase it? So, like in my era, I see people used to go into the spray paint stores and rack up all the spray paint, all the Krylon. Yeah. Does that element still exist a lot with the writers today? Or is it just a matter of like getting your paint any way necessary and just do what you got to do?
Yeah, it's definitely it's by any means necessary. So some people don't got the money to get the paint, so they got to get it their way. Me, I'm not going to jail for no bullshit. So I'm gonna buy paint. So once in a while, I'll skip a couple on the counter and throw them in. But I go about buying it now. But before, we used to fucking fill up shopping carts and walk out the plant section in Home Depot with 200 cans, you know. And there's still kids that do that to this day.
Definitely. Yeah. All right, so like so as far as 2020, like what are you doing now? Like where can people, you know, check for you at? Like what's your Instagram, your IG, where they can see some of your layups, some of your art, your collection?
My IG is at TIPER_1, and you could just catch me on there. I'm always painting, I'm always traveling, and just trying to get it done. When I was younger, I used to hang around graffiti writers, but I never was a graffiti writer. A lot of those graffiti writers were IOP.
Gotcha.
So when I used to hang around them, I ended up being cool with Chance, and we made a bond. Like, Chance is a straight solid dude. From the day I met him, he the same way he is today. He never like switched up, never did no snake shit, always just been solid. And you know what I mean, he a good dude. And he always been 100 with me, nothing less.
All right, Ayak is what it is.
Yes, sir. CBS.
All right.
It's my Queens fellas right here, SHK, and GW, another Cali crew.
Okay.
So CBS stands for Can't Be Stopped. We just been cold brick slayers. Like this crew been around.
Y'all just flip it different ways.
Yeah, this crew been around since the 80s. I ended up getting in it a few years ago through people I know, and it's all love with them. I haven't met nobody that I ain't like from the crew. It's just definitely family, and like I can make a call and be on West Coast. I could be painting tomorrow, just off being in that crew. You know what I mean? Okay. They worldwide. Like they got members overseas, Hawaii, everywhere. Like one call, and they'll call the next man and be like, it's well organized, connected, and everybody's in tune with each other.
Nice, nice.
And SHK, that's Slaughterhouse Crew.
Slaughterhouse Crew.
Yeah, and that's my man from Queens and my man from Bronx. They we got together a couple years ago, and we just was like, we all burn, we all do crazy ill burners, and we just made like a crew. We're just dudes that do crazy ill burners. Yeah. So now we got like 10 members, and we just paint and chill, and that's another crew that's like family. And GW is a crew you get in before you get into CBS. This is where this is where your loyalty shows. You gotta show.
It's like the proving ground.
It's the proving ground. When you in GW, and it kind of grew. GW grew into like something bigger that nobody was expecting.
Okay.
So a lot of people that's in this crew wouldn't even care if they was in that crew, because this crew has become so strong amongst everybody that's in it.
All right. And what's this GW?
Graffiti Wolves.
Graffiti Wolves.
Yep.
All right. So
Don writing, the stand saying, every crew has different meanings. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So I was on your Instagram, and I noticed you had linked up with Meek Mill not too long ago.
Yeah.
You did some stuff for him.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I got into somebody I knew had hit me up on Instagram, and they was like, yo, hit this person up. When I talked to her, she was like, yo, I got something you want to do. You want to paint? So I did a little sample drawing for her, and she just called me randomly like, yo, go to this address, get to the house, and Meek Mill opened the door.
Yeah, dope.
I'm like, I wasn't even expecting that, but I wasn't prepared at all. I had like 10 cans on me, and I just whipped something up in his house. But when he seen it, that I did it so quick, he was like, yo, you want to do my whole crib? And I wasn't prepared. Right. But I'm still working on something that I'm have for him, so that's still in the works.
Yeah. But it's ill how you know what I mean, you still gave him your all with what you had on the spot, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's a true writer right there, you know what I mean? Much love, y'all.
Yes, sir. All the ill graph writers, I want y'all to keep doing what you're doing, and just keep painting and inspire the younger kids coming up, because I was once a young kid inspired by seeing graph, and I think that graph has came back in a major way within these last couple years, and I want to see it take it to the next level while I'm here, you know?
Definitely. Much love. Typo, there you have it. Story to tell. We out here, you know, in Jersey representing, man. 2 L's up. Salute.
How can you call people to hang out in windows and watch trains riders, man? You gotta write, you gotta do the action, man. You know, you gotta go out there and rack up. You gotta go out and paint and be called an outlaw at the same time.